Now the love thing's a little complicated, so we're not going to bore your our viewers with the long story. I have a 27-year-old son that is an important part of my life, even though we're a little estranged at the moment. I have 2 wonderful grandchildren. I don't know why I haven't been married yet. I think I'm ahead of the game of those who have been married and it didn't work out. So we could say I just had the good judgment or good fortune not to marry my mistakes. I was in love, I've written a novel, Pink Collar Blue, that was dedicated to the woman I was most in love with ever in my 30s, and waited 20 years for her to come back, and she never quite did. She's welcome to it any time. I think she's on her 2nd marriage, so perhaps she's in no hurry. But before then, I used to get despondent that I wasn't in a relationship. I didn't know if I was ever going to be capable of it. And then at the age of 34, I met Pam, and as the dedication to my book says, I realized that being alone wasn't the worst thing in the world. Dating Pam was the worst thing in the world. But it taught me that I could love, that I could be loved, and ever since I've been waiting for somebody like Pam, or different, but that the love we had was like the love I had with Pam. And she was in love with me too. She doesn't quite remember it the same way. We kept in touch for 20 years until she got married, and haven't been in touch since, to come along. And I have this hypothetical, it's probably not a fantasy, that God will come down to me one day and say, Bill, I've got good news and bad news for you. Well, God coming down is sort of an honor to begin with. Take the time to speak to you. And I said, well, what's the good news? He says, you're going to get political success, and you're going to find the love you've always coveted. And I said, well, what's the bad news? And God says, well, you'll be 98 at the time. Well, you know, that's better than not at all. If that's the plan, there's no capital in crabbing at the plan. I think political success may come this year, and love will come when it's meant to. And I ask women out from time to time. I'm shy at heart, but they don't usually come to your door and knock on your door and say, I'd like to help you clean your apartment and make your life happy the rest of your life. So it's good to ask someone out once in a while, and I try to do that even if I'm shy, just like I run for office and ask people to vote for me. Even though I'm shy, I have some gifts. I want to deliver them. And if I had to I'm spiritual, I think there's a plan for everybody, and if I had to speculate why I may not have found the right relationship yet, it's kept me free to follow these political ambitions. And if you have a relationship, you have the obligation, especially if you have children, to sort of take care of business first, and I wouldn't have been able to take the risks I took. Plus, I've had time to work on myself, and I'll make a better partner since I've had time to, it'd be hard to be married to me while I'm still frustrated over not having these political dreams. It's a real void in my soul. But if God came down and said you have to choose between love and politics, if she needed me in her life badly enough, I'd choose the love. Otherwise, I'd take the politics, because I can picture being without love, although it's not a happy picture. But I can't picture myself without the political success. I have these gifts. God wouldn't have given them to me unless God wanted me to find a place to use them, and I'm convinced I will. In 73, I don't know how many elections I have left in me, but I'm healthy, and I have another good 10 years. I have to outlive Elvis and Furby, and they have another good 10 years, my dog and my cat. So I'm optimistic this will be the year for the political dream to start flourishing. And the love thing, I don't have a clue. I hope I recognize it if it happens.